Hello everyone, we are talking about Hans Holbein the Younger today of the House of Holbein. He is German, which is why house is spelled a little bit different here. And he was born in 1497 and he died in 1543. So Hans Holbein was a painter, and he was a painter during the not the start of the Renaissance, kind of in between the Renaissance, at least for Germany and at least for England. So as you can see over here, this is not a picture of Hans Holbein. This one is right here. So Hans Holbein, since he was a painter, he wasn't necessarily like very rich that this person looks like. Now this person over here is King Henry VIII, and you probably have heard of him before. He was the King of England, who had 6 total wives. And Hans Holbein actually not only painted him, but he also painted members of his family, also members of the royal court. Now over here we actually have a picture that is a little confusing. So as you can see up here we have 2 more aristocratic looking men, right, with many of their things. But down here on the bottom we see something a little bit weird. This is actually drawn in perspective. It is a skull. So when you see it in person actually, and you look at a different angle, you see a very large skull, which, you know, is to more say like what the meaning of life is, you know, think about more thoroughly what our lives are. So like I said, he was a painter of many nobles, including King Henry VIII. He did actually paint King Henry's 4th wife, and she was actually she was actually chosen by King Henry VIII based on the portrait that Hans made for her. Now, as you can see in this portrait, she looks gorgeous, she looks beautiful, but apparently, according to Henry at least, she did not look the same. And actually, they did divorce later in, I believe, a year or 2 because she did not look like the portrait that Hans made her. Now, over here is actually King Henry VIII's son, who did die very young in age, but this is an infant picture of his son. And if you know anything about infants, they do not stay this still for a portrait that would take several hours to draw. So he often exaggerated some attributes of the nobles in order to make them more appealing, including Henry's son here. So as you can see, you know, a toddler never, you know, holds his hands still, would never wear something like this for so long. And this was, you know, in order to please the king. So overall, Hans Holbein, he was a awesome painter, really great with certain things, but he definitely exaggerated a bit. So I hope that you learned a little bit of something, and I hope that you have a good day. Bye, friends.